So when we're talking about visualization, is there, where would you start a beginner on trying to get to use their imagination in a way that is controlled by them and efficient in projecting some type of imagery that you want? So, because I know from personal experience, these things take time to develop, but where would you start as a beginner in trying to help someone be able to use their imagination in that way?
I would start just like anything. It's almost like practicing in a no-risk environment, right? Okay. So starting off visualization, you should start your visualization with something you are familiar with and something you have already done. It literally could be, like Cory said, minus even watching the fight. Just you imagine yourself, what's your morning routine? You wake up, you throw the blankets off, you go into the bathroom, you walk into the kitchen, you prepare your meal, you prepare your coffee, maybe you're getting ready for practice. Something you're so familiar with that is super easy to visualize. I can still, in my memory, visualize almost all the rooms in my childhood home because I have walked through that so many times, right? And I can still see my bedroom set up and where my parents were or whatever. That's extremely familiar for me, and it's very easy to make that vivid from the start. Okay. And I start to do things like that. Inconsequential, there's no performance. And I build that practice with that imagery to be familiar with the process. And now I'm gonna start adding in stakes. Now I'm gonna see my practice, okay? I'm doing that same pre-performance routine and post-performance routine. What do I want to do? What is my goal here? What's my deliberate practice? Imagining that practice in its entirety as much as you can, and we're going to shrink it down and use a little bit of the time dilation that comes from, almost like dreams and how we see it. I don't have to sit there for an hour imagining an hour-long practice. Yeah. That's important, right? But I just want to see myself do certain skills and be successful. But here's the kicker, and here's where it's very important to remember. I'm not just going to see myself do things well, and Cory already mentioned this. I'm actually, when I'm visualizing, whether it's my practice or my fight itself, I want you to see yourself make mistakes and then see yourself recover from those mistakes. So I get taken down. Maybe I'm against an opponent who I really never want to take me down because they're just going to maul me on the ground. But if I just lay there and go, man, I really don't want to be here and this really sucks, going back to our gratitude practice, our mental agility, and our ability to shift from that negative avoidant mindset, right? I want to shift my focus back to, so what do I need to do to get up, get out of here, to move, to make them react, whatever I need to do to be successful or to recover from where I was before.
Yeah, I'll just really quickly, because that really, when I fought Petr Yan, the first time that I ever got dropped in a fight was by him. And I remember in previous fights, I always imagined that, what do I do when I'm off of my back? Because if I'm off of my back, something's not going right. So I don't need to necessarily see myself get cracked and get hit or whatever. But I had the experience of already have gone through me being on my back, what it is that I do exactly. And I was super pumped in that fight for me to realize that I got dropped and immediately went right into what it is that I do immediately, because I had seen that happen many times in my life. I know before I started doing visualization in a correct way, what it would be in my head is me walking through the most perfect fight that you've ever seen in your life. Like the most amazing performance that you've ever seen in your life. And sometimes it happens like that. And then other times it doesn't. And I know that it's not good to just always focus on things going perfectly. Like I'll even get so nuanced as to when I'm walking into the arena, I see someone and they annoy me. Or because there's a lot of other things just outside the fight that can just kind of throw you off your game a little bit. I'll purposefully, in my imagination, throw in a bunch of weird loopholes. Like, oh, the commissioner in the back is an annoying guy and he's not letting me pee for the next 20 minutes because they need me to get drug tested. I have already seen a lot of these things and these pitfalls already happen, instead of making it this fantastical thing in your head where you're just doing everything to the T and everything's working perfect. Because if you do that too much, it's not going to be perfect every time. If it is, cool. But if you imagine it going perfect too much and then something weird happens, it has the potential to really throw you off of your game, because in your head, now you're telling yourself, and I know because I've done this from experience, you're telling yourself, oh, this went wrong. That means my entire rest of what I think is going to happen this night,
it's too rigid.
There's so much unknown in that. So not being super rigid, making sure that you're planning for things to go incorrectly,
Right.
and then having them, and then how you respond to those things. Not you getting knocked out and you losing. We don't want to visualize that,
Right.
but we want to visualize, oh, when I do get knocked down, this is what I do. Really, really important. Can you talk about when you would start your first person visualizations and when you would do your third? Hope you guys enjoyed the video, guys. Make sure that you guys like and subscribe, comment below whatever you guys want to see next. Maybe we'll do a part 2 to the series. Also make sure that you guys are checking out Cory Sandhagen, MMA.com for the full instructional. They are badass. I know that you're going to, find some good out of them, get some information, some digestible, some, really helpful information from the instructionals. Make sure that you guys are checking those out. Cory Sandhagen, MMA.com. Like and subscribe again. Peace. Love you guys. Later.